So, you just finished editing a video in DaVinci Resolve and you're tempted to head to the export page, choose the YouTube preset and call it good. And it would be most likely the biggest mistake you can now do, because the YouTube preset is actually complete garbage. And I'm gonna tell you what settings you should use when exporting a video in DaVinci Resolve. And I even share my professional presets with you, so you can achieve the highest fidelity possible with just 2 clicks. So let's buckle up and let's start exporting. We're starting here at our edit page and head straight to our export page, which is indicated by that little rocket ship down at the bottom. And now your DaVinci Resolve should look something like this, with the timeline at the bottom, the preview at the top, the settings all at the left and your queue on the right. The first thing you want to check is that this little indicator bar at the top selects our entire timeline. Since if by any accident it should look something like this, it will not export the entire video, it will only export the highlighted portion of it. This function is useful if you only want to export one animation out of a 20-minute video, but you do not want to render the entire video. But in this case, we wanted to render the entire video at once. So what we do next is head to the settings. We start by choosing a file name. What I usually do is I name my files like the project and then end it with the codec I'm going for. So I go in there, type %project name, select the variable _ProRes, and the project name will be automatically filled in. On location, we choose location, I choose desktop. We also choose single clip, since we want to render the entire timeline as one video file. And now we are left with the actual export settings, format and codec. These are the 2 most important settings you have to choose. And if you doesn't know what's the difference between the format and the codec is, you can see it like this. The format is a language, while the codec is how complex the text actually is. If you doesn't understand the language, it doesn't matter how much information in the text is, you will not understand it. And if you understand the language, then it matters how much information is in the text and how long is the text. So what do you want to choose? We choose a language that our computer and YouTube can understand, and a codec that preserves as much information as possible. The average person might be tempted to choose MP4 and H.264, which is the most standard video codec you find out there. But H.264 is garbage when it comes to preserving quality. And we want to choose something that is a little bit more professional. So what we do, QuickTime, since I'm on a Mac, and Apple ProRes. On type, I choose Apple ProRes 422HQ, which results in a 31.7 GB file. If you're on a Windows or Linux machine, you have no access to ProRes, and you want to use DNxHR HQX 12-bit, which results somewhere in the same file size. But since I'm on a Mac, I use ProRes. It's completely dependent on your machine, and if you have the studio version or the free version of DaVinci Resolve. In any case, use the highest possible codec to your naming. We could go even higher and choose Apple ProRes 444, which would result in a 71 GB file. But since I think that to upload 71 GB is a little bit too overkill for YouTube, I choose 422HQ. We leave the resolution at timeline resolution, frame rate at timeline frame rate, and in advanced setting we choose color space tag and gamma tag as Rec 709. If you're on a Mac, you would choose the gamma tag as Rec 709A. This makes sure that every video player knows exactly how to display your colors. If you want to export your subtitles, you go to subtitle settings, export subtitles, format, burn into video, then you get it like often seen in short form content, right burnt into your video, or you export it as a separate file when uploading it in long form content to YouTube. In this case, you would choose an SRT file and select subtitle 1. I'll leave that open. I don't want to have my subtitles always exported when I export videos. I do it usually separately, and we are done with the video portion. For the audio portion, we head over here to audio, and in codec we choose linear PCM, which results in uncompressed audio. Sample rate we leave the same as project, bit depth we use 30-bit float, and at audio normalization we can choose to normalize our audio every time. With this done, we are done with the settings and we head to the 3 dots up here and save as a new preset. So in future exports we don't have to put in all the settings again. We press add to render queue at the bottom and now it's at a queue. The problem with that is if we try to archive several of our videos, we now have to store hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of just finished renders. So we want to make a second preset that is lower quality or more compressed. We can look up quickly if we want to go in a reference video. If we then need the original ProRes file, we can still pull up from the archives and let it re-render. But for archival purpose, we make a second setting. So we go back to our settings and change the file name at the end to ProRes to H265. At video codec, we choose H265, which is way more efficient than H264, but less compatible overall. For archival purpose, it is perfect. We'll leave everything else like it is. We also go to the 3 dots, save as a new preset, enter name, take a picture, and press save. We add it to render queue, and now we have our 2 jobs queued. Now, we got 2 exports for our videos, but I also need a third one. Most of my videos are also uploaded in a German translated version. So what I want to do finally, I go back to my settings, change the name to audio at the end, and deselect the export video box. This tells DaVinci Resolve to only export the audio. I press add to render queue, and now it exports only the audio. And that's it. We press render all, and we now end up with these 3 files. I have the ProRes one, which I upload to YouTube, the H265 one, which I use for archival, and the German audio track. If you want to have these 3 settings as well, head down to the video description where you'll find a link to my webpage where you can download them for free. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Leave a like there if you liked it. Comment down below what you want to see next and subscribe for more videos like this one. I wish you a good day and have a good one.